Hello, my name is Shantae Benner, and I am the grant specialist for the Title IV, Part B, Nita M. Lowry 21st Century Community Learning Center program at the Oklahoma State Department of Education. I want to thank you for joining us today to learn about this competitive grant peer review process for our state. This webinar is designed to serve as a guide for you to provide resources, tips, and instructions to support your peer review process. In addition to this recording, the PowerPoint slides and a brief guide will be made available to you to assist with the review process. On this webinar, we will be reviewing the program purpose, resources and tips for reviewing the grant applications, program goals and priorities, navigating the online grants management system, scoring the applications, and who to call for assistance. There are two important resources that we ask reviewers to become familiar with as a part of this review process. These documents can be found on our website and will be included as attachments to an email that will also include your username and password for the online grants management system. The first resource is the United States Department of Education Federal Non-Regulatory Guidance for 21st Century Community Learning Centers. This document is designed to help you understand how programs can participate in this competitive grant opportunity. We would also recommend that you pay particular attention to sections F and G in this document. These sections cover the state level competitions and local use of funds. The second resource is the Oklahoma State Department of Education 21st CCLC Grant Guidance. This document covers Oklahoma-specific requirements that have been approved through our state application with the United States Department of Education. This will be an important reference for you as you review program goals, activities, partnerships, and budgets in this process. The Government Performance and Results Act, or GPRA, indicators are measures established by Congress to assess the performance of the 21st CCLC programs. The U.S. Department of Education reports annually on these measures to Congress. There are a total of 5 GPRA measures. Measure 1, academic achievement, looks at the percentage of students in grades 4 to 8 that participate in the 21st CCLC programming during the school year and summer who demonstrate growth in reading and language arts on state assessments. It also looks at the percentage of students in grades 4 to 8 participating in 21st CCLC programming during the school year and summer who demonstrate growth in mathematics on state assessments. Measure 2 looks at the grade point average or GPA of young people. The percentage of students in grades 7 to 8 and 10 through 12 attending 21st CCLC programming during the school year and summer with a prior year unweighted GPA less than 3.0 who demonstrated an improved GPA. Measure 3 looks at the school day attendance and the percentage of youth in grades 1 through 12 participating in 21st CCLC during the school year and summer who had a school day attendance rate at or below 90% in the prior school year and demonstrated an improved attendance rate in the current school year. Measure 4 takes into account behavior and looks at the percentage of students in grades 1 through 12 attending the 21st CCLC programming during the school year and summer who experienced a decrease in in-school suspensions compared to the previous year. And finally, Measure 5 looks at student engagement in learning. Percentage of students in grades 1 through 5 participating in 21st CCLC programming during the school year and summer who demonstrated an improvement in teacher-reported engagement in learning. There are 2 types of priorities in this application, absolute and competitive. Absolute priorities must be addressed by all applicants. These include Serving students who attend a site that is eligible for designation as a Title I school-wide program. Evidence of community partnerships. And program goals and objectives that are based on scientifically based research that provides evidence of success. Competitive priorities are state-specific priorities where additional points may be awarded to a grantee. With this year's application, our competitive priority will be given to applicants serving students who attend a school with a site designation of priority, which is comprehensive school improvement CSI and additional targeted support and improvement ATSI sites. These points will be assigned by the Oklahoma State Department of Education after the peer review process is complete. Please ensure that you have read the Oklahoma Grant Guidance. It outlines the use of funds. This is very important for you to consider as you review the proposed scope of work and supporting budget narrative within the application. Make sure to use the section of guidance as a reference in your review of all proposed expenditures. If items are budgeted that do not meet the criteria, we would ask you to score appropriately and please provide comments. Remember, funds must be used solely for the purpose of creating local community learning centers. Grant funds must be used only to supplement and not supplant any federal, state, and local funds currently being used to support activities allowable under the 21st CCLC program. All costs must be reasonable, necessary, allocable, and properly documented to carry out the program. Costs must be directly linked to the size of the program and to specific goals, objectives, and activities. On page 13 of the Oklahoma 21st CCLC grant guidance, you will find examples of allowable and non-allowable expenditures. Some examples of unallowable expenditures include bonuses or incentives, facilities or vehicles, furniture, greenhouses, lobbying, or religious activities. Whether this is your first time reading with us or you've been reading with us for a number of years, we always like to provide you with a few general tips to help you get started. We believe that it's important for you to read with a purpose. Begin by thinking about the proposed scope of work and ask yourself several questions. Is this good for kids? Now, this may seem like common sense, but in everything you read and score, we hope that you will always keep the children and youth served by this program at the forefront of your thinking. For instance, is the schedule based on student need or on adult convenience? Will what the applicant proposed keep students engaged in learning? Will students be excited about participating? Is this application innovative? Has the program engaged students in the planning and giving them a voice for program design? Is there a student advisory council? Was a student interest inventory conducted? It is also important for you to check that the program written is not more of the same. This means that it doesn't just replicate the school day. The application should emphasize innovation and have opportunities for hands-on learning. Is there evidence-based methods? Those methods should enhance the regular school day. This means that there should be evidence of collaboration between the school day teachers and the after-school staff. The narrative and budget alignment must be evident. This means that if something is written in the narrative, it should also be listed in the budget. Finally, all sections of the grant must be completed in order to score them. If items are missing, no points should be awarded for that section. While programs should be innovative, they should also be feasible. As a reader, it is important to look beyond any jargon to determine if the applicant has the capacity to implement the plan presented. Look to see if the ideas flow logically. if applicants provide a complete response to the criteria, and if activities outlined in various sections are consistent. You should also look to see if community partnerships are integrated throughout the design, from planning to implementation and evaluation. As you prepare your scores, consider how you will provide comments and constructive feedback on the application. We are often asked for reader comments by both programs that have been awarded and those who have not been awarded. Keep in mind, all comments and scores are shared with applicants upon their request. Comments provided by you also help us to begin the award process. We ask that you provide as much detail as time allows. In particular, if you are scoring a grant item rather low or particularly high, comments are needed. Also, it is helpful to note if information is not included, not complete, or seems to be not original to this application. Please ensure that all recorded documents are uploaded under supporting documentation and contain all of the information needed. For example, the advisory committee membership form should consist of a variety of community stakeholders, such as parents, school staff, students, partners, and community leaders. There should be evidence that the advisory committee has met on multiple occasions, and signatures for each person should be included. For the partnership form, we are looking for applications where partners play an active role in program design, implementation, and evaluation. Partners should have a substantive role in the overall program and not just be providing a field trip or an occasional presenter to the youth program. Applicants may not list themselves as a partner. Other tips for commenting includes: make sure to provide comments for any low or high score. Be specific, professional, and clear in your comments. Remember that your comments will be shared with the applicants upon their request. In your comments, make sure to note missing information, unique ideas, and creative programming. This is a competitive grant process, so it is important to score accordingly. The quality of the application, practice, and evidence is important. Grant application updates. Applicants are able to choose what program type they would like to apply for. With the site level application, applicants are limited to serve students from no more than 2 sites. With the district level application, applicants with a district-wide enrollment less than 300 students may choose this option to serve their entire district. Please note that applicants who meet the requirements only need to submit for district level if they have 3 site codes in their district. As you can see on this slide, only applicants who choose the district level application will be given the option to put in 3 different site codes. A major change to the grant application is the amount of time that's allotted for the program director. Per grant guidance, page 19, the careful selection and hiring of appropriate grant leadership with the time and talents required to manage the expanded learning services described in the competitive application is imperative. Program directors and staff must be qualified and experienced in teaching and/or providing positive youth development services, and evidence of experience in education will be required during the annual budget approval process. Lead personnel will be required to attend annual professional development that will take them away during the regular school day. For these reasons, a half to full-time program director is needed to adequately supervise this grant program. Applicants who are applying for annual awards that exceed $250,000 or who will have multiple grant awards should include a full-time director in their grant plan. Those applicants who are seeking less than that amount annually should identify a programmatic lead whose role in the program is a designated job duty of 0.5 FTE or greater and cannot be classified as an extra duty assignment. As you are scoring the grant application for this item, please make sure that you make any notes of why you scored it particularly high or low. The Need and Timeline tab have been updated so that applicants can provide a thorough evaluation of their community needs and available resources. Please ensure that the application clearly describes how the proposed program will meet those needs. A separate tab for goals has been added to minimize the number of uploads. Depending on the unique needs of those identified for services, goals should focus on academic enrichment that help meet state and local achievement standards, services designed to reinforce and complement the regular academic program, and engage families of students served in meaningful ways that support their children's education, including opportunities for literacy and related educational development. All goals should be specific, measurable, relevant, and time-bound. Now let's move on to how to navigate the Grants Management System, or GMS. When working in the GMS system, it is important to remember, do not use the back button on the browser. Also, make sure that you turn off the browser's pop-up blockers. This is very important as you will not be able to get the scoring rubric if you do not. Do not double-click in the system and make sure that you save your work often. In order to access the GMS system, you will click on the link sent to you, enter your ID and password, and then click the Log On button. You should have received an email from Shante Benner that included the link to access GMS, as well as your credentials. If you have not received your credentials, please email shante.benner@sde.ok.gov. In the following slides, I will be walking you through our GMS system. As mentioned in the last slide, you will need to click on the link provided to access the system. Once you click on the link, you should see the screen. You will enter the user ID and password provided and then click Log On. Steps 2 and 3 of the process are extremely easy. You will simply click GMS Access Select on this screen and move to step 3. For step 3, you simply click the blue button, Reader Review. Step 4 of the process is understanding your reader to-do list. On this screen, you will see a list of the applicants assigned to you. We have reviewed the conflict of interest that were provided on your application carefully. However, please double check that you do not have a conflict of interest with any applicant that has been assigned to you. If a conflict is present, click Yes and contact our office. We will work with you and the review team to make adjustments to the assignments. Some examples of conflicts might include a family member or a close friend who works for or has in the past worked for the applicant. You may know the applicant on a personal or professional level. You may have been employed or contracted by the applicant. If a conflict of interest is not present, click No and then the Save Conflict Answer button. You will not be able to move forward without choosing an answer. Once you have chosen No and save your answer, you are then free to select which applicant you would like to review. Simply select the organization and click the Review Application button. Step 5, scoring the application. Once you have clicked the Review Application button, two windows should appear. One will contain the application, and the other window will contain the scoring rubric. If the second window does not appear, turn off your browser's pop-up blocker. Here is an example of what the second screen or scoring rubric should look like. Other items to note when reading and scoring the application are: make sure that you save your scores and comments in the Score pop-up tab. A sample rubric is included in the application, but it does not contain the save function, so pay close attention that you're writing in the correct space. Also, failure to close previous browsers can result in applicant scores being written onto the score sheets of the wrong applicants. While reviewing the grant, please ensure that you are reading every tab. As you can see on this slide, there are multiple levels of tabs in the application. As you can see on this screen, the tabs in the application are reflected on the scoring rubric. When scoring the application, you will be able to assign scores by selecting a radio button on the rubric. The total points awarded will be calculated upon clicking Save Page. Make sure to click Save Page before moving to the next page. Also, make sure that no error messages are displayed at the top of the page before moving on. Your comments should be entered anytime a reader scores a question with the highest or lowest possible score. Comments are optional for scores in the middle of the possible range. Remember to complete scoring for each tab. The final score sheet tab will show the cumulative score that the reader has awarded to the applicant. Now let's discuss what the scoring scale is and what the numbers really mean. As you can see on this slide, a score of 0 or inadequate/none means that the applicant's response does not provide the necessary information or address the question. A score of 1 or minimal or low means the applicant's response mentions the necessary information, but does not provide a complete vision. You may notice that the application contained little to no use of evidence-based methods of child, youth, program development, or areas of the application and budget reflected only the minimum essentials to carry out the program plans for 5 years. A score of 3, which would be adequate or average, means the applicant's response provides the necessary information in a fairly complete manner and illustrates their capacity to provide the services. You may notice that all areas of the application and budget cited specific ways that the community partners and families are or will be involved, and that the budget reflects specific use of funds and a focus on well-paid, certified staff and quality, sustainable training materials and services. A score of 5 or excellent exemplary means that the applicant's response provides the necessary information in a clear and concise manner and illustrates that they have thoroughly developed their plan for services. The design was intentional and can be implemented. Their budget was strong and reflects innovative use of funds, including a clear outline for sustainability of the program after funding ends. While scoring, you may notice the bolded criteria on the rubric is weighted and will automatically reflect double the amount of points chosen on the scale. These questions primarily focus on program content and planning. We believe that these areas are critical elements that will show the applicant's capacity to offer quality programs for students. The scoring summary will provide you with an overview of the points that you scored in applicant. Remember to save often. Your scores are only final once you hit the submit button. If you would like to go back to a section at any time and change a score or add comments, you can do that and select Save again. I would like to stress the importance of providing comments to the applicants. Your comments help applicants to refine their applications in future rounds, and they also help our office when funds are awarded to identify areas that technical assistance is needed with new grantees. To submit each application, you will go to the Reader To-Do List page. You'll select the radio button next to the application. You will then click the Submit button. The review status will change to completed when the scores have been submitted. Once all scores have been submitted, no further action is needed, and no further changes can be made by the reader once an application has been submitted. This slide provides you with a visual of the screen to submit the scores. Again, you would select the application you would like to submit, and then click the blue Submit button. It is recommended that you review all of the grants assigned to you before submitting your final score for each applicant. This will allow you to review the grants to ensure that each is an original submission. A couple of final reminders are, remember to turn off your pop-up blocker for this website as soon as you log in. Watch your score sheets. Score on the pop-up score sheet, not the sample rubric found in the grant application. Make sure that you save often. If there is no save key, then you're working in the wrong place. Ask for help. Call or email the 21st CCLC office with any questions or comments. We appreciate you for sharing your time and talent with us through this process. Feel free to contact me at any time at area code 405-522-6225, or you can email me at shante.finner@sde.ok.gov.